Oh,
Good afternoon, Patrick.
hi, Warren.
Thank you for taking part in our interview series. Basically, the program is for all traders to help each other relate to each other in the same pursuit. It's not really about money, prestige, or any of that kind of stuff for this series. And basically, to help people understand where they all fit into the paradigm. So thank you for taking the time to chat to me about it.
Cool.
So what made you decide to trade the financial markets in the first place?
I've been in the industry for like 20 years, but mostly running business, running sales consultants, things like that. And I think got to the point where I was tired of that and just wanted to become self-sufficient on my own and rather take what I've taught and try apply it to my own life and trade and make money that way. So I see it as a business where you can be self-sufficient over time.
Okay. And it's working for you, obviously.
Some days better than others, some months better than others, but still got a little way to go to say I don't need anything else.
Okay.
And I can just survive on my trading on its own.
All right. And then what markets and timeframes are you focused on?
Okay, I only trade Aussie and Dow. And Aussie 5 minutes, Dow mainly 1 minute, 5 minutes sometimes. But there is the 9-hour consolidation strategy that I like to take. So for a longer time frame, I'll do that. And maybe an ABC or a longer time frame, something like that in the longer term. But I'd say predominantly 1 minute on the Dow.
And is there a reason why you chose 1 minute over all the other stuff?
Yeah, because what we found historically, or what I found historically, is if you're going to have the discipline and you're waiting for the triggers, you can sit a whole night waiting for a 5 minute or a 1 hour trigger, and you're sitting in front of the screens for 3 hours, and there aren't any triggers. So it's kind of like a little bit of waste of time. And then what happens is we tend to chase the trades. We look for stuff in the markets that's not there, and we hit buttons because the market's moving. Simply because we got this fear that we want to be in the market when it's moving and we're not. So from experience, we just found, or I found that if you trade 1 minute, at least you're getting 3, 4, 5 trades an hour, according to a system.
Okay. So you like the idea of being in the market for short periods of time and taking profit or stop quickly rather than waiting for triggers and so on.
That's it. It's personal, but that's me.
Okay. No, that's good. And yeah, talking about these short time frames, what do you find most difficult to do?
Take the stops.
Everybody's problem, eh?
I think it's probably a little bit more difficult on the shorter time frame because through experience you find it's going to come back. I mean, everything comes back to the 50 moving average, for example. So you can look at it and you can say it's definitely going to come back. So let's just sit there and wait it out. And I know just from the trading room experience and things like that, I know myself, when I'm projecting, I'm forced to take stops. So it's very positive for me that I'm on the trading room, because otherwise guys can question me about the stops. But if somebody else is projecting and I'm just watching from the background and I'm following the systems and I'm doing the trades in that, it's so easy when they say a stop has been hit just to ignore it. And I know that 90% of the guys that are trading with me on Zoom, they don't take those stops. I know it. You can kind of feel the vibe coming through the thing, and they wait for it. And a lot of guys speak to me, and I know, and they say it eventually comes back. They get out.
Yeah.
But there's only 2 ways you can blow your account: wrong money management or ignore the stops. And I've had to learn stops as part of it.
I mean, yeah, by taking stops, do you find that it's easier to make the next trade?
Absolutely. The issue that we have with not taking stops, or I have, is we don't take the stop, and let's say there's an open position there. I ignore the next trade. First of all, I don't like being hedged, so long and short in the market at the same time. And second of all, what I find is we look for reasons why we're right or I'm right and not where the market's going to go. So you don't take a stop, you sit staring at it for an hour and you miss the next 3 trades that would have been right. So not taking stops for me means I actually stop trading.
Okay. And are you finding it, do you find that it's getting easier to take your stops than it was, let's say, 6 months ago or a year ago?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Now I just take them. I prefer it. And I think a large role of that was writing down every single trade every day, keeping the stats as you up to date. Because what I've been able to find is even though I take the stops, I can still remain consistent. Doesn't mean every day is going to be profitable. But by taking the stops and taking quick stops, I'm finding that the days where I'm down are a lot less than the days that I'm up. So we're generally making more money than we're losing. That's really what I'm after.
So the fact that you keep in record now of these things has made it easier for you to execute the stops.
Absolutely.
Well, for those that are listening, there's an important lesson.
It doesn't make it easier to take the stop, but you just know it's like a business. You have to take the stop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's never easy to lose money, right?
Sure.
Okay. What do you find most interesting about your trading, or about trading in general?
Market's different every day. Every day you look at it and you do your setups early in the morning and you plot your little things, and it's nice when you've learned a system or strategy like the ABCs, for example, and it works and you're right, and you're getting on top of it and you get a sense of where the market's going. And really the only thing that will change after that is unexpected news. But it's like a clean board every day. You have to look at the market new every day, and it's going to be different every day.
And then in that vein, market changes every day, but yeah, I've known you for a long time and I've watched you trade for a long time. What I found very interesting, the market may be different every day, but I don't see you changing your strategy every day.
You can't change your strategy. What you can adjust, I think, is your position size for when markets are tough, but the system cannot change. I mean, all of us, and I've stopped, but all of us at some point in our lives have been looking for this like crystal ball. In other words, a strategy that's guaranteed to be right every single day and every single time. There is no such thing. This is what I really have learned, is sometimes markets are trending and sometimes they're tough because they're consolidating, as they are at the moment. Mm-hmm. I still stick to exactly the same systems, but when it's not going too well, I just reduce position size, but still keep trading the same things until the market changes again, because it does. Okay. And I think a lot of guys take a strategy and they apply it to 10 different markets, including Forex, gold, whatever. It doesn't work like that. What I've learned is every single market is unique. The Dow is different to the NASDAQ, for example, at the moment. So if we look at the statistics versus strategy, on the Dow, on a 9-hour, you might get 120 points. On the NASDAQ, you might get 50 points. Mm-hmm. And the FTSE, you're going to get something, and the DAX, you're going to get something different. Is a lot of guys just want to take a trading system and apply it to everything, which is what I used to do. I don't know. Now I sit and I analyze each market. And I've also found for myself, I don't trade the NASDAQ. I don't trade the DAX. I don't trade everything because I just want to be profitable on one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
For me to look at 100 different things, I find it very difficult.
All right. And then in that same vein, what have you found the easiest part of trading for yourself?
Hitting the button to trade. That's easy. When specifically when you've taken a strategy and you've traded it often, it's profitable, and it triggers again, then it's easy to hit the button. It's when when I try preempt, take a chance, increase position size because I think I'm going to be right. As soon as I find myself thinking what's going to happen and not just trading what I see, it becomes difficult. So when I've got a system and I trust it and certain things happen and I hit the button, then it's easy.
Okay. So by understanding the strategy and how it works and what its result is over time, has made it easier for you to pull the trigger.
Sure, but not only to pull the trigger, it's also made it easier for the stops, because now we keep detailed statistics on the stops or the performance of each strategy.
Sure.
So most of the strategies we're using on 1 minute, let's say, have got a hit rate of 70 to 75% as an average. I can then look at it and say, well, over the next 10 trades, I have to take a stop 3 times as an example, statistically. And that just in the back of my mind suggests take the stop, because it's just part of the game.
So keeping those stats up to date has really changed the way that you approach your trading.
For sure.
Okay, that's good to know. And I mean, it sounds like such a cliched question, but what gets you excited about trading?
The obvious answer would be making money. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that is part of it. I think what is more exciting for me, what makes me more excited about trading is I've set myself certain goals and certain achievements, and yes, some of them are money related. Mm-hmm. And getting to the point where you're actually achieving them, is more exciting than just the money, because trading is not just about money. If you want to learn about yourself, then you must trade. It's about overcoming personal challenges as well. So I've set my goal to overcome certain of those challenges, and achieving that is pretty rewarding and exciting.
That's good to hear you say that money is not the only thing. I mean, obviously we trade because money is the outcome. But as a goal in and of itself, it's quite empty.
Sure. So it is.
I like the approach of, take your personal blockages and use that to motivate you to trade better.
I think so. And like we always say, just trade well, money will follow. But isn't it the same in any business? That's really the point. You could have any business in the world and it's going to have challenges. But once you're successful in that business, you actually get quite excited about it, because there's huge obstacles, personal obstacles as well, that you have to overcome to achieve that.
Yeah, I find most people are existing in a state of constant fear of losing what they have.
Yeah.
And then in trading, that's just multiplied 100 times,
Massive.
Business, I would assume, is the same.
I would say so. Well, we both run our own businesses before, and we know. But what's quite exciting about this is you don't need the problems that go with running another big business.
Sure. You're basically looking in the mirror every day, which sometimes is harder than shouting at your secretary.
No, it is. It's tough to look at yourself and have a salesperson or somebody else that you can blame.
Yeah.
There's no one else to blame you.
Okay. Have you ever put up a percentage of capital as a target?
Yes.
Okay. And are you going to share with us what it is?
Okay. Yeah, I've set them before and achieved them before. I have, and I've also failed before.
Okay.
So at the moment, what I'm trying to do is, I'm looking at about, it sounds unrealistic, but I don't think it is, of about 55 to 60% of capital. Okay. And we're talking monthly, are we?
Well, it can be daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, whatever makes sense to you.
Okay, so I work on monthly, and the reason for that is I think depending on market condition, what news is coming out, your day, all kinds of emotional things, to set a daily target is good, but it's not that achievable. I think what we need to focus on is the consistency. Mm-hmm. And if I set for myself a monthly target of X%, if I don't get there, it's not the end of the world. But I like the idea of reaching for the stars, and the worst that happens is land on the moon. But if we look at the systems and the strategies and the correct position sizing, that is critical, is correct position sizing. Mm-hmm. I think to do 50% a month eventually is kind of like my target. So 100K account, I want 50 to 60,000 out of it. And when you break it down, it's 3K a day.
Okay.
So, but that's with good money management. not taking a chance and increasing.
Well, I'm assuming that if you make 1,000 Rand a day on average, you're not going to cry any tears.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, I do find targets can help you stay focused.
I have to have them for myself. I don't know if everybody needs them, but for myself, I have to have them. As soon as I don't have that daily pressure or that daily target, when I say daily, I mean, let's call it monthly, but then I break it down to daily, that I must achieve X amount per day. Then I become too complacent.
Okay, so that's quite an important point, that you know yourself well enough to put something in place. And I think that the clients must do the same. Anybody listening to this recording should take some important points here. Firstly is keeping a diary. Secondly, analyzing the diary. And thirdly, decide whether you are target driven or whether you just really want to trade well without the targets.
Yeah.
So I think there's only two types of trader out there. It's the one who's driven by the percentage, and the other one who's driven by not so much the money as it is trading properly. A healthy combination of the two is required to be truly successful. You should have targets, and you should be driven by the systems. And I think that's what's coming across from you, Pat.
I think so. The other thing is, if you're trading out of desperation, I think it's a huge challenge.
Oh no, you're not going to make it.
It's too much. I've just seen guys, and myself, you need to make X amount of money in a certain time frame. Everything just falls apart. It really does. It's same as having any business. You can't just tell the business to give you X amount of money.
I wish you could.
Yeah, it would be nice, but yeah, I think, and I worry sometimes the guys start trading out of that desperation.
Yeah,
it's a tough one. It's really tough.
Yeah, I think it's virtually impossible to really fulfill your own potential in anything if you're doing it out of desperation.
Yeah.
All right, so I like the way that you're approaching the market. To have a percentage of capital target helps you follow the strategy, and the strategy helps you achieve the target. Now, the point here is having a target or a goal is that it's not cast in stone for you. You're like aiming at something, and if you hit it, you're going to be ecstatic. If you don't hit it, you're not going to cry about it.
Yeah, I think that's right, because markets change the whole time, as we see. They're consolidating the moment, then they're trending. So if you trust the system and you're trading a system is going to work better sometimes than other times. And you're going to have your months where the system works very well and you achieve your target. And then you're going to be elated and you're going to think you're like the god of the market and you understand this thing and you've got to take. Then you follow exactly the same system the next month and it doesn't work that well.
Yeah.
So we have to accept that we just have to trade what we give them that month, and we don't know really if it's going to be good or bad. The important thing is, if you follow the systems, don't preempt, keep your money management right, and trust the strategy and just trade, everything will come right. But as soon as you ignore the system, you must blame yourself. As soon as you stick to the system, stick to the stops, stick to the rules, then it's just the strategy that is going to lose us money 3 out of 10 times. That's all it is. So what I'm trying to say is we can't personalize this.
Sure, that's also important. Now, yeah, through all of this, trading being a journey, obviously, and you've been at it, you've been busy in the markets for a long time. Yeah, there's always this question in the back of every trader's mind: should I be trading for a living? Is that your intention? Are you planning at some point to only trade?
Absolutely. I think we all need to get to a point from a business point of view. Younger guys must come in, take over with new innovative ideas. And I think we need to move on and just trade.
I like that. And that's important as a goal as well, eh?
Sure.
If you don't set goals, you're just going to like trading for infinity. And I find this one of the more interesting questions. I've done quite a few of these interviews now in this series. And why would you stop trading?
Because I'll be dead.
Okay, I like that. Now, that has been a common thread. Nobody's ever said it like that. But that's basically what's come through. And it is important. Yeah, trading is not something that we learn in 5 minutes. It doesn't take 6 months. It takes a few years to really get your head around all the concepts. And most people give up too quickly.
I think so. And also, you know, as you get older, you want something to keep you busy and your mind active and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I think the most successful businesses are businesses that started when somebody started as a hobby more than anything else. So at the moment, I'm not suggesting this is a hobby. This is a lot more serious than that. But if you've got that passion for it and you believe in it, that's going to work. So I don't think there's any reason to stop.
Okay, perfect. Then the question that a lot of people balk at is, are you married?
No.
Okay, so you're one of the lucky ones.
I've got a blow.
So, you know, not being married kind of changes the way that you approach the market. Everyone I've spoken to so far has got a life partner of some sort. Do you find that not being married's made trading easier, harder, more exciting, or have you found that it's maybe had a negative impact on you as a person?
Okay, there's a number of ways. So I was married, obviously, but it raises a couple of things. Is when you're going through relationship problems, or even call it what it is, a divorce, any kind of emotional turmoil like that is going to mess with your trading.
Okay.
And you need to know when to stay away. So I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about any major life event that stuffs you up a little bit for time frame is going to affect your trading. There's no doubt. While I was married, no issue. I had support, and I think a lot of people, and I'm not talking about wife specifically, but family and things like that, have said to me, "You mad? You mustn't trade. It's gambling."
Yeah.
You know, usually or mainly out of lack of understanding about what we're really doing. But it is like one of the biggest industries in the world.
Sure.
So you got that. So during a time of that emotional turmoil, if I could give any advice, it would be to stay away for that period of time. It is going to have a negative effect. Since I'm single, obviously I'm trading better because I got more time. I don't have to go and talk.
When you put it that way. Okay. So you found it easier now?
Easier, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not suggesting everybody must get divorced.
No, but I think there's going to be both sides of this coin of people that listen to the conversations. And it is nice to get a point of view from someone who's been through it.
Sure.
You know, as to how that affected your overall view of the market and trading specifically. It doesn't really matter whether you're married or divorced or single. Trading is still the same thing. It's still the same process. But when you're under emotional pressure, trading can be quite destructive.
Absolutely.
You can really hurt your bank account, but it's also can be used as an escape and all sorts of other emotional stuff that goes with it. And it's to know that at the other end of that, life carries on, no?
Yeah, it does. It just, but you know, we may be referring to divorce here or whatever, but it could be any life event, a death in the family. Yeah. You, as a general rule, you know, it's that whole frustration type concept is when your head's not in a good space.
Yeah.
And it might just be for an hour in the morning. Try not to trade that session. I'm not in such a lucky position, because I'll wake up in the morning sometimes and I really don't want to trade, but I'm still forced to go onto Zoom and to trade. So it's a bit different. Yeah. And other times you'll just feel like your mojo is 100% right. You're seeing the market right. You're feeling good about the trades. You're feeling good about what you're doing. I think any business is the same, is that some days you wake up and you don't really want that grind, or any job is the same as well.
Yeah.
And other days you're into it and this is the best thing since forever.
Yeah.
I think it's the same.
No, fantastic. Well, Pat, that brings us to the end of the interview. Thank you so much for your time. That
Thanks,
was a very
thanks for yours.
interesting and insightful. Stay well, and we'll chat again.
Thanks, eh?
Thanks. Cheers, Pat.
Cheers.